stream. What have I got going on now? I'm just at home, and it is. I think it's chilly outside. Maybe it's. I don't know. Maybe I haven't been eating enough food or something, but it feels pretty chilly out there tonight. Let me tilt this up a little bit. There we go. Cool. That way I can like lean forward and it's like not leaning. Yeah, it looks better like this, trust me. What have I got going on tonight? I just got 2 more of these things. I have a couple of these actually, but these are really good. I'll show you the difference in a second, but here we go. So what we have, the iPhone, and we have this pop socket. Now, I've been using this one for the past couple days. I'll show you what this one does first, and then I'll show you what the other one does. So with this one, you just clamp it on like so. I got it upside down. You clamp it on like this. It sticks on. And then you can put your finger in there like so, right? Now, what else you can do is if you're like at a if you're like sitting down at a table, you can like have the phone like this, so you can like watch it. You can turn it sideways like this and like watch it like that, right? So you got a bunch of options with this. Something else what you can do with this is you can stick it to something that's magnet. This is a magnet on the back. So this is really cool for filming, okay? It's also really cool for watching content, right? Like if you're in the city, you can walk by a light pole, and if it's a metal light pole, because some light poles are wooden, some are metal. If it's a metal one, you can, stick it to it. My bad, I thought I heard something. So yeah, this is pretty cool to use. Now, the thing with this one is, it just only has one hook like this, right? You take it off, and then it's separate, okay? Now this is the better one. Looks the same. You just snap it on the back, right? It snaps on the back, but this one's even cooler because you can pop this out and this moves around. So you can have more flexibility with this versus the other one. So for example, if I go up to a parking meter on the street, I can use this one and I could stick the phone to the parking meter, okay? However, I can only get one angle. The angle of, if the parking meter is like this, I only get that angle. Well, with this one, you can stick it on the parking meter, like on this side, and then you can like move the phone around and angle it, like however you want it, So this is pretty cool. Also, if you go to the gym, you can use this in the gym because on a lot of the machines, this will stick to the machine. And then once again, you can move it around. Like you can like move it around and get any sort of way you want to get the phone, If you want the phone to be like that, if you want the phone to be like this, like it's just a really cool way to use the phone, to use it with the phone. And then once again, you can stick your finger in here so you can hold the phone easier with this. Like when I'm watching my phone at night, That's how I hold the phone at night. I hold it like this, you know. So that's like the way to watch and hold the phone, like because if I hold the phone like with my hand, like I feel like it'll fall out of my hand, you know, and it'll hit me in the face. But with this, I can just hold it like so. It's really cool. Y'all gotta get one of these. These are like legit, y'all. Um, y'all put something in the chat. Let me know that y'all are in here. Hey Jermaine, what's good? What is good? Mm-mm. So how's it going? You still in SF? Yes, I am still in SF. I am still living it, you know, still taking it easy, still living it up, you know. Hi, watching from Italy. Oh, you're watching from Italy. That's fine. Italy. Where in Italy are you? I mean, I don't want to name the places I know, but like, are you in the city or are you in the countryside? Italy. I miss those pizzas, yo. Outstanding pizzas, I'll tell you. I'm like sitting here with 2 jackets on. I'll take one off. It's not that cold in here, but I was just outside earlier and it was pretty dang cold outside. It's my electric jacket. It's like heated, but it's really, really faded, you know? So I'm gonna grab another hoodie. Boy's been hitting the gym, yo. You know, I tell you, I've been working out the tricep lately. What a weird muscle to work out. Like I just did like a couple reps last week, like tricep reps, you know, taking the weight and putting it behind your head like this, you know. I was doing that and oh my gosh, I totally could not believe like how sore my arm was the next day. And one of my gym homies was telling me, he was like, that's like a muscle like you like never use. So when you go to the gym and you work it out, like you're gonna feel it pretty fast, you know? And I'm like, yeah, that's what's up. Do you like Italy rap? I did not know that rap came from Italy or any type of rap came from Italy. I just didn't know. Stay safe, Dr. Ellis. Stay away from LA. LA is pretty rough right now. LA is. They said something about the winds might pick up or something. I don't know. It's just scary right now what's going on in LA. And we've been getting a lot of rain up here. And I was thinking just because we're getting rain, they're getting rain down there. But no, that's not exactly how it works, right? That's it might rain up here, but that doesn't mean it's gonna rain down there. So like I was literally under the impression that like all the rain that we were getting, like it was just raining down in LA, you know? Totally not, totally not true. Totally not the case. What up, Jermaine? Market Street misses you, my brother. We love you. We love you, no Diddy. That's what's up. I'm gonna get another bike actually. I'm gonna get another bike, and my thing is like I'll ride it like after like 6, right? I'll like do deliveries on the bike from like 6 to 10 or something. So that's something I think I want to do. And the reason this will be a good time to start because in a couple months will be the time will change. The time change will happen again in a couple months. And then that way it'll be light at 7 o'clock, right? So I think I want to do that. I want to get back out on the bike because, like I say, I don't live downtown anymore. But I think that's like one reason why I've kind of been like a little depressed because like my interaction with the city is like a lot different now than it was like when I lived downtown, you know? So one way to change that is to just ride the bike again, you know? So that's pretty cool. So I am gonna do that. I need to pick a bike because I was thinking about getting a rad bike, but then I was also thinking about getting a KBO bike. But then there's also other bikes out there that I could check out that might be cool. Now those are new bikes. I could get a used bike, which I totally don't mind getting a used bike. However, getting a used bike is going to be just hit or miss. You know what I mean? This is going to be whatever you find that's out there. So that's kind of what I'm like, you know, weighing through right now. I think I might just get a new bike. So I do have two new e-bikes, but not two new e-bikes, but I have two e-bikes. But both e-bikes that I have they're fat tire bikes, and I want a electric bike that I can pedal. You know what I mean? Because I also want the exercise, you know. And I know what some people say, oh, it's an electric bike. You don't get that much exercise on an electric bike. Well, you can get exercise on an electric bike if you pedal, and especially if you got skinny tires and you pedal. Trust me, you can definitely get some exercise on an electric bike. Uh, you know, and you can cover more ground than a normal regular bike, you know. Anybody watching from LA? Man, that's just crazy to see what's going on with LA right now. Like, that's just crazy, man. That just got me feeling like all bummed out, dude. Like, I kind of want to go to LA this weekend. I'm gonna keep it real. Just to make content, but like, I don't want to go there just to make content, you know? Mm-hmm. Do it, bring us to LA. Hmm. I guess I could, right? Go driving around LA, making content in the fire areas. My bad, y'all. I'm literally eating um peanut butter. You might wonder, like, why are you eating peanut butter? Well, I'm trying to stay away from carbs. Late at night. I've had so much peanut butter today. But eating peanut butter straight out of a jar. So rad. Are you dating anyone? Mm, Kinda. Kinda, but they kinda getting on my nerves, I'm gonna keep it real. But like kinda. Don't exactly know how I got this far, but yeah, kinda. Mm. So if I eat this peanut butter, I can just go pass out in like an hour, you know? But if I eat some carbs and pass out in an hour, like my belly will get big. I'm trying to get a smaller belly. Okay. This is gonna be the last spoon of peanut butter and I'm done. What you do for fun? What I do for fun, I like to make reels for social media. I like to go skateboarding. I like to do random stuff around the city. I like to go hiking around the city because there's a bunch of hiking spots around here. I like to work out. Like working out has been something I've been doing quite a bit lately. Like I've been really on the whole pretty much I joined a new gym, right? And before I was going to 24-hour fitness, then I joined this new gym, and it's like way nicer. So I've been working out like all the time, and it's a lot of fun. Like today, oh dude, today I squatted 165 today. Yeah, 165. That's pretty much how much I weigh. I weigh about 160. So I pretty much was able to, squat my weight, right? And I'm stoked about that. That's like freaking, it's like an accomplishment. It's like, dang. Because when I first started this whole weightlifting journey like 6 months ago, I don't think I could probably do like 100 pounds or something. Maybe I could do like 80 pounds. But now I'm just getting better, I've gotten stronger, gotten a little bit better with balance too. That's definitely a part of lifting, is balance. And now I'm just like, putting on more and more weight. It's just a lot of fun. Like, that's just something I've recently got into. I was at one class and one of the instructors was like, yeah, I do weightlifting too. And I was like, weightlifting? And then I was just starting to think, I was like, oh yeah, weightlifting, like lifting weights. And then I like took a class, right? A weightlifting class. And then after that, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start lifting weights. Mm, mm. Heck yeah, skateboarding and hiking. Yep. Hiking's fun. You know, go out in the nature on a beautiful day, smoke some weed, hang out in the nature. Mm. Peanut butter is fire, yo. I'm so happy to get my new, what do you call this thing? Magnetic ring. Watch any movies/shows. Um, for the most part, I'm pretty much strictly a social media consumer of content. Uh, I don't, I don't really watch any movies. Don't really watch any TV shows unless someone else invites me to watch a TV show. But I'm not gonna just go actively watch a TV show on my own. Also, I'm not into sports like basketball, football, baseball. I don't watch any of that. However, if I go out and I'm at a place and they have sports on TV, I actually will. Sometimes I will find myself watching it, right? Especially if it's like NBA. I'll find myself watching it because I'm not used to watching like sports like that, right? And when you watch like, especially NBA, NFL the same way. And I just notice it more with basketball and football. But bro, it's them damn angles, dog. Like when you be watching the TV and how like it just be flipping, like they're showing you this and they're showing you that and they're showing you this, they down the field, they showing you that, they showing you a replay. Man, like I say, like I don't just watch like TV like that, like sports, but like that shit's dope, yo. Like I ain't gonna lie, like basketball, man, how they be like cutting that shit up, like they show you this scene, they show you, free throw over here, and then they show you hitting the three from over there, and then they running down the. Man, that shit is tight, dog. It's like watching a movie almost, but it's a freaking basketball game that's live. So I don't know, it's pretty cool. Miss your hustle videos back in the day. Wow, good to see you. Yeah, I'm still hustling. The hustle game is not so, it's not so good like it used to be. You know, the city's not, it's not pumping out all that money like it used to do. Uh, Times have changed around here. It's hard out here for a pimp. I mean, if you out here in these streets, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, and I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I just don't I just don't know how things are gonna get better in the next 4 years, right? I just don't, because I feel like inflation is just gonna keep going up, right? I just feel like things are just gonna keep getting more expensive. I don't think anyone can stop that, especially with all the money printing and all that they've been doing. I mean, that's just me thinking. I don't know how housing is gonna be cheaper unless like, I don't know, these fires in LA start the market in LA to go down. I don't know. I don't think that's how it works, but once again, I just don't see how things are gonna get cheaper. You know, maybe we have a really bad recession, but once again, if we have a really bad recession, I don't think things are really gonna get cheaper once again. Like, um, also with AI just getting more and more popular by the day, like AI is just growing, right? We're gonna have a high unemployment rate. Like, I'm sorry to say, we are going to have a very high unemployment rate, bro. I'm talking about like 10%, because just what are people gonna do, right? Like, for work, when your job gets replaced. Like right now, we got Waymos on the road, but in 4 years from now, do you think it's gonna be more Waymos on the road? You think it's gonna be more autonomous cars on the road? And you got to think about something here. The more and more autonomous cars hit the road, that's gonna be less and less people buying cars, right? And if less and less people buying car, I mean, you see where this is going? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a little nervous for the next 4 years. Maybe I will make a video, an actual video talking about that, and I'll upload it to YouTube. Y'all think that's something that y'all think that's something that might be of interest? Because like, I kind of wanted to make a video like this, but like I feel like if I make a video like this, I'm gonna have to bring up like Democrats and Republicans, right? And I'm gonna have to bring up like, Joe Biden and Donald Trump, right? And whenever you bring up like, you know, those names, like, people just get all triggered, right? So that's why I haven't made it. But I think I'm gonna just make one tomorrow and upload that joint. Mm-mm. It will never be cheaper historically, inflation. Yeah, I just don't know how. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't know how. I'm sure there's a lot of strings that they can pull. There's a lot of things that they can do to make money flow, right? I mean, I just don't know those things. One thing I did hear that I haven't heard anyone talk about this since Trump got elected, but y'all know how Trump said that he wanted to get rid of taxes on tips? And also, he wanted to get rid of taxes on overtime workers. I haven't heard anything else about that, right? Now, why am I bringing this up? Because y'all know I'm not, like, I wouldn't really benefit from that, right? Because I'm not like a worker that works overtime, right? So I wouldn't really benefit from that new law, right? However, a law like that could benefit like the economy, because if they actually did that, which I don't think they're gonna do. I think that that's one of those promises that just won't ever happen. But that would be like people literally getting a raise like overnight. Like, think about it. If you didn't have to pay taxes on overtime, bro, if you didn't have to pay taxes on overtime, like, you would be making so much money, because once you hit overtime, that's when they like, it seems like they tax you like 50 or 60%. And if you didn't have to pay taxes on that when you getting time and a half or double time or triple time, I mean, bro, I mean, that right there can stimulate the economy. We would benefit on the hustle platforms from tips. 75% of our income is tips on the hustle apps. Yeah, I guess we would benefit. We probably would benefit, but you know that also might get the companies to pay even less because they might see, well, yeah, well, I guess the delivery person is making it up in tips. So now the apps maybe they would pay less because they would feel like you're making more from tips, you know? I don't know. Do you do you think folks are tipping less with the minimum wage increases? I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't know cuz that I don't know, but let's just talk about it. Like let's see if I can figure out let's see if we can figure out something. Let's just throw some stuff out there. Okay, so I think it really depends on some people. Let's use myself for an example. When I go to restaurants, if I go to a restaurant where I sit down and they serve me the food and then they come to the table and take my order, and then if I go to a restaurant like that, like I always tip like 20%. No matter if the service is good or bad, I usually always tip 20%, right? Now, when I go to restaurants and they say something like, you go to a restaurant, you tell them your order, and they ring it up, and then you pay on the little screen. I usually don't tip at these places. Okay, I usually don't tip because I feel like they didn't really do much, right? Every now and then I will tip at a spot like that, like if the people are really chatty or I don't know if the food comes out really fast or something. Like maybe I'll tip, but usually I never tip at places like that. However, that's me. Okay, when I'm in the city, I always see people tipping those machines. Always, right? However, some people look like that they ballin', look like maybe they make $200,000 a year, you know? Maybe they don't go out to eat all the time. Maybe it's a company expense, right? But I definitely see people all the time hitting 20%, like all the time, like all the time. I mean, I usually don't. So when you ask me that question, like I don't want to give a biased answer. So that's why I say let's just talk about this, right? Because I definitely see people doing it, right? Like I was out with a homie the other night, and my homie works at a restaurant, and they tip 25% everywhere we went, and this was on drinks, right? Now, tipping 25% on drinks is like quite a bit if you think about it, because if you get three drinks, okay, and it's $40, and you tip 25%, that's what? That's like $20, okay? No, that's not $20. That's like $10, right? If the drinks cost $40. I remember when I was growing up, you would just tip per drink, okay? So like if I got one drink or two drinks, maybe I would tip like $2 or $4, right? But nowadays, I guess like at some places, it's more looked at like you tip on the dollar amount versus on the drinks, right? I don't know. With me, if I go to a bar, if I'm getting like one drink, I usually leave like a dollar or two. It really depends. I usually don't ever do a 20% tip. But at the same time, if I'm buying a drink that costs $10 and I leave a $2 tip, that's like a 20% tip, right? But usually when I go to bars, I don't really like to use the card. I feel like using cash is like more of a psychological thing, you know? Don't like using the card. Bro, it's good seeing you. I gotta catch the next chat. Night, everyone. Okay, peace out, addicted to hustle. Do you think the service has gotten better or worse? for the most part, I think the service has pretty much stayed the same. I don't think the service has gotten worse. At least the places I go to, I don't think the service has gotten worse. Um, no. Because if you really want to get some bad service, like go to Europe, right? Like for real, go to Europe, because they don't get paid extra. Like they don't get tips, right? In a lot of their restaurants. So unlike in the U.S., where since someone's working for tips, like they're more willing to come to your table and ask you, hey, do you need some ketchup? Hey, do you need a refill? You know what I mean? They're more willing to check on you because if they do a good job, they'll get a tip. But in Europe, once again, like they don't have an incentive to keep checking on you because in their culture they don't usually tip. So here in Texas, we have drive-through window at restaurants. They all have tip jars at the drive-through. They have tip jars at the drive-through. Yeah, the tipping culture is definitely a thing. I remember growing up, you would see a donation box at the McDonald's. It'd be like a donation box, like donate, like, feed children or, something like a donation. But now it's a tip jar. How's things in San Francisco? Things this week are crazy in the city. So there's a JP Morgan conference at the Moscone Center. And I don't know how many people show up to the city, but someone told me about 20,000 people come to the city for this week for the JP Morgan conference. And just driving downtown, a lot of suits. Okay, a lot of suits. I've never seen so many suits in the city. Like, people wearing suits. Like, yeah, bankers, This is not a tech conference. This is like a JP Morgan conference, so they different people. But yeah, traffic is busy. It is popping out there tonight. Restaurants jamming. You go by places and normally you don't see a line outside. Tonight, you see a line outside. So it feels really good. It's a really, really good vibe. That's going on this week. Busy. Let me see. I missed some comments. Siobhan, how's it going? Oh, a reel? You gotta let me know about this reel. I need a housemate. San Francisco, you need a housemate? I don't know. Do I seem like a horrible person since I told y'all how I tip? Sorry. Like, I'm not rich, bro. Valet parking employees are making money in San Francisco? I'm just curious here. Because I used to be a valet. I used to be a valet in Santa Barbara. Bro, I love that job. And then I moved to San Francisco and I thought that I could do it and make good money here. And when I moved here, I discovered that you don't make as much in tips in SF like you did in SoCal. And then I tried to figure out why that was, and I quickly figured out why I did not make tips in SF. Okay, simple. In Santa Barbara, a lot of places, okay, the places I worked at in Santa Barbara were a hospital. Okay, at the hospital, they had free parking, free valet parking. No, I think it was like $3 in valet parking, right? So people would tip there because the parking was so cheap and it was so convenient to use the valet parking. So people would tip, like, some days you would make, some days on a slow day you would make like $30. On a good day you make like 50, 60, $70. Okay, not bad. And then you would also get, I think, $12 an hour or something, or $10 an hour or something. No, back then I think it was $8 an hour or something. Okay, cool. right? And then I remember working at a hotel, okay? The hotel I worked at, really good tips. You make like $100 a day, right? Some days on the weekends, you make 300, right? It just depends. People always tip there because like it was a hotel, right? Yeah, they did have to pay, I think it was $35 a night for parking. But once again, they ended up, it was a good job. Like people still ended up tipping, okay? Got to San Francisco, started doing valet. And I noticed, man, people don't tip at all here. And let's talk about the valet gigs I worked here in SF. I worked at a hotel in SF. People tipped at the hotel, but the problem with the hotel in SF, the valet would greet the guests, right? And then as soon as the cars would pull up, you would greet the guests. The bellman would come over, and the bellman would steal the customer away from the valet. Usually, the customer would tip the bellman, and then the bellman would come out. The customer would give the bellman $20. The bellman comes out and gives us, $2, $1, okay? And that's split between 2 valets or 3 valets, right? So I was doing that gig, and I was like, man, this kind of sucks because the bellmen, they steal all the money, you know? And then they come out and talk to us and want to be friends and want to be cool for us, but then we realize that, like, yeah, you just steal the money from us all the time. So yeah. And then I worked for another valet company where, like, you did events. So you would go to different houses around the Bay Area and you would do events. Those gigs were very hit or miss. Very hit or miss. So for example, you would go to one house and it would be 4 valets, okay? And you park 10 cars. And there's 4 of you. And y'all just park 10 cars, okay? So each of you leave with like $5. Because yeah, the cars did tip. But after, you split up all the tips, you leave with like $5, right? $10. And then sometimes you would have a party and then you leave with $100. And then also the hours would vary too. So sometimes you would be at this one house party for 3 hours, right? You're only working 3 hours. You would be at this other thing for 8 hours, right? So it just fluctuated a lot, and it just did not work like it did in Santa Barbara. Like in Santa Barbara, like if you were a valet, you made bank, right? It was known that you made bank. Being a valet here is just not, no, it's not the same, you know? I'm pretty sure that there are better places to work around here that you can make good money. I'm pretty sure they exist. But those are the places that I worked, and those were my, yeah, those are my things. Those are my gigs. Valet parking at a hospital, unimaginable in SF. That would totally be unimaginable in SF. No, actually, they do have valet parking in Mission Bay. They're only in Mission Bay, and I don't know how much that costs. I'm pretty sure it's not free. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's not free. It might be $20 or something. Because a lot of the the hospitals, a lot of them you have to pay by the hour to park, you know? Just imagine going to the hospital, you gotta pay by the hour to park. Like, wow, fire thoughts. Mm. Wow, fire thoughts. I think it might be people, it could be arson, It could be people lighting these fires. Because I'm gonna keep it real. It's really easy to do. Like, it really is really easy to do. Because stuff is really dry. It's really easy to do. Like I was watching videos on X and it was a guy, this was captured on a Ring camera, but it was a guy that, it was a big palm tree outside of this house. And this guy walked by and he lit the palm tree on fire. and it was a van parked by the palm tree. And the person said that the palm tree like caught on fire, and it caught the van on fire, and the van exploded too. And this didn't cause a forest fire, right? Because it was on a residential street. But like it could have, if it was in a forest or something. And it's just like ridiculous. It's crazy. Used to be a limo driver. Good money. Limo driver, yeah, that is still good money. A limo driver nowadays is like you just drive a black Suburban. Like that's the modern day limousine driver. Is you drive a Suburban or a Tahoe. Because you never see limos. Well, I guess in SF you don't see limos. Maybe in LA, limos are more popular. But in SF, like all the hills, you would get stuck trying to drive a limo around. How about Uber? Uber's super slow out here. I mean, you can still make money with it, but it's not like the golden days. Some days are really good. Some days are not. Too many people on a shift sometimes. Mm. I can see that being a problem. Too many people working at the same time. It has been fun chatting with y'all. It's been fun. It's been fun. I think I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna go make some food. I think I'm gonna go have some. I know I was supposed to be avoiding carbs, but I think I'm gonna go have some pasta. I think so. Thinking of moving to SF. What do you suggest? Um, Moving to SF. Well, you'll probably have lots of cool places to choose from to live. Just don't. Just come with a plan, for sure. Come with a plan and work your plan. You know. Used to watch you and talk to you when you were in Estonia around 2018, and suddenly the Agaram loans brought me to you. Oh, dope. Oh, dope. How much longer will you live in SF? So eventually, I do want to like go back to traveling, but I want SF to be a home base. You know, and that can play out a couple of different ways. It could play out where pay off my car, and then I move out, and then I put stuff in Airbnb. I put stuff in the storage, and I travel, like in and out the country. I was actually looking for this key, and I just found it. I need this key so bad. I just found it. That is so cool. Um, so I can put things in, move out, put things in storage, leave the country for like 2-3 months, come back, stay for 2-3 months, leave the country for 2-3 months, come. Like I kind of want that life, you know. But what I was thinking, if I can just, if I can just 10x another stock in the stock market, I could just, move to a cheaper place in the city, right? Move to a smaller place that's cheaper, and just when I'm gone traveling for 3 or 4 months, just still pay the rent on that place. That way, when I come back, like I can come back and have a place to lay down, instead of come back and have to go to storage and pull things out. But then at the same time, it's also kind of nice to put stuff in storage because if I have an apartment here and I'm gone for 2-3 months, like what if something happens to the apartment, right? What if there's a fire? What if someone breaks in? What if, you know what I mean? There's a lot that can happen in 2 months. So like putting stuff in storage is kind of a, you know, it's out of the way. I don't have to worry about it, you know? So that's not really bad, a bad way. Have you ever had lion mushroom? It's like vegan steak. I've had lion mushroom. I also like portobello mushrooms. Those are pretty good too. Siobhan is back in the house. Storage place feels more secure. Yeah, and then also with a storage place, you can sort of, you can use it like, because basically how I used to use the storage, like I would, right before I got ready to leave the country, I would go to storage and drop off everything I didn't need, and then I would take one backpack and I would put everything I was gonna travel with in that one backpack, and then I'd leave the storage, and then go drop the rental car off, and then make my way to the airport, and then go travel, and then when I come back, like repeat the same process, a rental car, and then go to storage, and then boom, 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 boom. When I went to live in SF, I got there with only $500. Lived there for 2 years, and it was floor designer for 505 California. Bank of America. Dang. So you came here and just hit the ground running, right, basically. What's the topic for tonight? I'm just sort of, what's up, Crystal Lee? I don't know, just kind of randomly freestyling, nothing really, not a real topic tonight. I was just, we kind of mentioned the fires. We kind of talking about, what else we're talking about? I don't know, just kind of talk about like how we're kind of nervous for this year, talk about how like inflation's not gonna go away, or I don't think inflation's gonna go away. Talk about how like the unemployment rate might get worse with AI, We talked about tips. We did talk about tips and, taxes on tips, and like if that'll actually happen. That would be really cool if they got rid of taxes on tips and overtime workers. That would be really cool. But once again, like I haven't heard any talk of that. The valet parking hustle. We did talk about the valet parking hustle. Travel and storage tips. Yeah, is it easy to find a job in SF though? I don't know. I haven't really looked for jobs in SF in years. So I don't know. I don't think it's too hard to find a job. Like I don't think so. Like I see people walking around handing out resumes all the time, so I don't know. I don't think it's too hard. It could be the type of job, like if you're trying to work at a restaurant or if you're trying to be a security guard, I think that there's a bunch of those jobs out there. But if you're trying to like get like a job like working at Google or working at Facebook or something like that, a good job, or you trying to get a job working for the city, I don't know if those jobs really, I don't think too many of those jobs exist, So it really depends on what you're looking for. If you want to be an Amazon delivery driver, I bet, you know, someone will hire you for that. So I think it just really depends. Yeah, and then some jobs are also more part-time jobs too, you know. So you might not want a part-time job, you might want something more full-time. Taxes on tips is criminal. What happens to all of your e-bikes? So I have 2 e-bikes left. Pretty much all the rest they got too many miles on them. I had 2 KBO matching bikes. They both had like 7,000 miles on them. Yeah, and both motors died right around the same time. Not only did the motors die, the batteries, I burnt up the batteries too, because I had 4 bikes and they all use the same batteries, right? So on one bike, it had that extra big battery, right? So on some days, I would wake up in the morning and I would like use 2 of the smaller batteries. I would use those batteries up like crazy, yo. Like for real, I went through so many freaking batteries, dude. That's just gnarly to think about, actually. Mm, mm. Went through so many batteries, yo. Me and my friends commute to San Jose for professional work. Professional work is scarce, but if you have experience in the field, you have better chances of finding something. Totally. I totally feel you on that. But from what I've been hearing that a lot of jobs down south have companies are not hiring like they once was. And it's, companies are trying to save money, but then also AI, you know, AI, like, and I'm not saying AI is going to replace all jobs, but like AI could, reduce a couple jobs. Like companies are going to, they're going to do that. If they can reduce 5% of their workforce, you know, and then also outsourcing work to people outside of the country. That's becoming more and more of a thing I've been hearing. No, I don't have a black eye. It's just I have the light over here, and instead of it being right here, so the light is over here. So the light is making me look a little off, you know. Yeah, the high interest rates on the tech sector, yes. And don't be surprised if they if they increase interest rates again. If inflation starts to go crazy. Like don't be surprised. What festival does SF have coming up? I don't know what festival they have coming up. Summertime is all the good festivals, yo. No, bro, you look great. Dang, Siobhan, we gotta hang out. Like, we gotta hang out. Jay, do you still have any crypto? I have been buying Bitcoin every day since like the 30th. Like every day. Like every day. Been buying Bitcoin. So yeah, I still have crypto. Crypto is, yeah, for sure. Crypto is great. If you had 50K, would you invest in crypto or put down payment on a house and rent it out? If I had 50K to invest in either crypto or down payment to rent out on a house, I'm sorry to say, but I would take the $50,000 and put it into crypto. Hands down. And the reason why I would put the money into crypto and not buy a house for all the people that are not into crypto, or that don't know about crypto and say that's crazy, you can actually have a house, is because I'm gonna tell y'all, when Bitcoin hits the average home price of 420,000, when Bitcoin hits that price, I'm telling y'all, people are gonna start to look different at real estate investments. They're gonna start to look very different. You're gonna have people scratching their head on their real estate investments. Okay? Now, that is when Bitcoin hits 420,000. Okay? Now, when it hits 420,000, all the way to a million, okay? The time that it takes to go from 420,000 to a million, real estate investors are going to be calculating that. And they're going to be sitting back saying, real estate is not that good of an investment anymore. Because with Bitcoin, you can stake Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin was worth $1 million, and if you're staking it at 5%, I mean, just do the math on that, you know? If you got Bitcoin and you're staking it and it's worth $420,000 and you're getting 5%, do the math on that. You don't have to worry about property tax. You don't have to worry about maintenance. You don't have to worry about tenants. You don't have to worry about late fees. You don't have to worry about none of that, right? You ain't got to worry about no paint. You don't have to worry about, you know, you don't have to worry about no fire coming, burning your fucking house down. Now you got to deal with the insurance company. No, you could just get your money from the staking with the Bitcoin, you know? So that's kind of how I would see it. Oh, you still got Bitcoin. That's dope. Man, that jump probably worth a whole lot more now. Bro, housing will drop. It will be a domino effect. Housing will drop, but you know, something else that might drop. You might see a lot of assets go down because you might see people going to the stock market. I mean, well, people that have no crypto. You might see them going to the stock market, just liquidating their shares just to buy crypto, just so they will have some, you know? So yeah, that's kind of crazy. Are you about to go to sleep, Siobhan? Okay, good night, Siobhan. I'll hit you up tomorrow. Yeah, we'll talk. I'm gonna be busy this week because of that Chase conference, but I'll hit you up. We'll hang out. Maybe we'll like eat mushrooms or something this weekend. Because yeah, I'm gonna be busy this week, and then maybe this weekend I'll chill. If housing drops, I want to get lower property tax. Oh, that probably will. But then, okay, something else about Bitcoin too is companies like companies that buy up real estate, like buy up single family homes, they may start selling off single family homes at a massive loss, bro. And the reason why they might do it, they're not gonna do it just to buy Bitcoin. They might do it just because it might get to a point where like the money that they're making staking Bitcoin just dwarfs the fucking money that they're getting from these houses that they're renting out. And then they also have to, you know, once again, there's a lot of maintenance, right? But then also, if you really think about that theory, will anyone even want to rent out? Will there even be any incentive to rent out a house? Because people will need a place to live. I mean, I don't know. I've also heard some people say that the housing market, if that happens, if Bitcoin passed the price of an average home, what could very well happen is the real estate values could just drop by like 70%. You know, that could be quite realistic too, you know. So they're not labeled as an investment, they're just labeled as some place to live, you know. They're already doing that in Florida, like that BlackRock expanding that because the property tax and insurance has doubled. Only way to get rid of BlackRock from your state. Oh. Florida's a pretty interesting market too, because bro, it was a couple of years ago I was looking at places in Florida. You can find some cheap housing in Florida. Bro, you can find some cheap ass housing in Florida. But the problem you might run into is it might be a hurricane and your house might flood, right? So these are just two, you know, deal breakers about moving to Florida, you know? But yeah, you can find some cheap ass houses in Florida, yo. But you got those two problems you gotta really worry about. The same thing could happen in California. The same thing could happen to California. It could. It could. With these fires going on, these fires are not even out yet. Like they're still going, right? What if we have an earthquake later this year? What if we have a freaking earthquake later this year? what would that do to the housing market in California? Now you got to think about something else. So think about the people that live in LA right now. Think about you have been living in this house, right? Your parents gave you this house, okay? So you don't have a mortgage. You pay property tax. You and your husband got nice cars, right? But like you don't, now your house just burnt down. The insurance canceled you 6 months ago. Now you used to live in one of the dopest spots in the country. And now insurance companies are not going to give you any money. You still own the land. So maybe you would just sell the dirt, right? And then what do? You can't afford anything else in LA. So everybody that lost their house is not rich. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's a bunch of people live in California, right? A bunch of people live in California. They just bought a house 25 years ago. And they just been refinancing that motherfucker left and right. Like left and right. That's how they got a new Tesla, right? They just kept refinancing. But now once the house burns down and you can't do that anymore, like what do? You know? Like it happens, you know? Insurance companies bounce because what insurance companies do is when you pay them all that money, they basically take that money and they invest that money into the stock market. But they also take some of that money and they pay like people like researchers to research and predict like, you know, what are the odds like a disaster could happen, right? Like they go out and pay scientists to figure out like, you know, about fires and figure out earthquakes and figure out about storms. Like they pay people to figure this out. Like they do. And then they make predictions. Okay, we think it's gonna be a big fire in California. Why do we think this? Because this scientist over here has told us that California no longer clears out the brush in their forests. So since they don't clear out the brush in their forests, we see this as a big threat. Because if it's really windy and a fire starts, how will they put the fire out? This is what an insurance company is gonna do. They're gonna think like this. And they're gonna say, you know what? We should probably leave this area because this could cost us a lot of money. And that's exactly what happened. It is nasty work. It is nasty work, especially when you got your insurance canceled like 6 months ago. I mean, I could see if it was 2 years ago, but like 6 months ago, that just don't look good. Are there still a lot of store closings in SF? Walgreens just announced 2 days ago that they're closing, I think, 12 stores in SF. So that's like the latest big closure. I guess the Macy's store is closing soon. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah, they definitely got to weigh out the risk because insurance companies they're a business just like Starbucks. They're a business just like Chevron. They're a business just like Tesla, right? They have to make money. And I think some people think that insurance companies are like the government. No, the insurance companies ain't like the government. That's FEMA. Insurance companies, they're trying to make $1. They say California has about 50 earthquakes a day. Yeah, I can believe that because it's a very big state, and I would imagine earthquakes happen all around the state. I would imagine. And SF did have one a couple days ago. Oh yeah, the government, they did not allow them to raise rates too. I did hear about that. That's another reason why insurance companies were leaving, because they couldn't raise the rates. And we're on a huge fault. California is straight up on a fault line. Buying property in the metaverse has tremendous potential because, if that happens, housing will plummet, so Bitcoin and the metaverse will be a threat. That's crazy. Starbucks just announced that you'll have to buy something to sit and chill in their cafes. I thought it was always that way. I thought it was always that way. Okay, guys, so it was fun streaming. I think I'm gonna get off here. Jermaine, what's your wild guess? BTC hits 420. I have no idea. I mean, I have no idea. I think what we could possibly see, I think we could see a 10x in, but not from these numbers. I think that Bitcoin could very well go down to like 50,000 or 40,000. And Bitcoin could go all the way down to 40,000, and then we could see a 10x from 40,000. So it can go from 40,000 to 400,000. I don't know, I think this could happen in like a year. Because the thing about Bitcoin, for it to really click in people's heads, for the people that are still not on board, especially for like companies and governments and states, for it to really start to click, for people to really wake the fuck up right now with Bitcoin, you know, the only thing it's got to do, it needs to 10x again. It needs to 10x again. It need to get to the average home price. It need to blow past that number, yo. Yeah, and then that's when you gonna really get people waking up. You know, that joint needs to, when it starts to move, I think that is when people are gonna wake up. When the swings are $100,000 a day, that's when people are gonna wake up. When it's swinging $100,000 a day, like right now, it'll swing $9,000 a day. That's like the biggest swing. Wait till that joint is swinging 100,000 in one day. Okay, now you may wonder, 100,000 in one day? Yeah, when that bad boy around 1,000,000, it could literally swing. Then a 10% move would be 100,000. I mean, think about that, y'all. Think about when it gets to 10 million. And that junk go, you wake up one morning and it said 10 million, and then you go to bed and that junk at 11 million, bro. I mean, think about when it's gapping 1,000,000. Like 10x where it's at right now. Like those days coming. Like those days are coming, y'all. Like I'm telling y'all, those days are coming. Those days are coming, dude. I think insurance companies probably will go bankrupt. I mean, you know how much that's gonna cost? Well, I don't know. Insurance companies probably won't go bankrupt, actually, because everyone didn't have coverage. You gotta think. So some people just lost everything. Insurance companies will have to pay out, but what type of coverage? Like, I don't know. Like, okay, you had like a whole shopping center burnt down. Did the shopping center have earthquake coverage? Or did the shopping center have fire coverage? Or did the shopping center have flood coverage? Or did the shopping center have all three? You know, like, crazy. What about the church? Did the church have fire insurance? Did the church have, you know, like, did they have all three? So like they might not bankrupt. I mean, did you hear about the $85 million house that burnt down overlooking it was on the water in Malibu? $85 million house. I mean, I'm pretty sure he had flood insurance, right? Maybe he had earthquake insurance. But did he have fire insurance? You know? I mean, these are just things to think about. I mean, crazy, right? Well, I mean, if a bunch of people, if a bunch of folks got their insurance canceled, that means the insurance company ain't going to pay out that much money, you know? How many years will it take, Jay? Well, they already say that the houses on PCH that burnt down on PCH, like overlooking the water, like literally some of the most prime real estates in the whole country, they won't let them rebuild there. Just imagine that, dog. Just imagine that. Like Paris Hilton house, right there on the water. They will not let them rebuild. Think about that. That's gnarly. We used to wake up, you had this dope view, and they say, no, you can't even build your house there anymore. Like, even if you got the money, like, this is messed up. Well, I'm not saying BTC is gonna drop to 40K. I just say that for it to 10x, if it dropped to 40K and 10x, that would be 400,000, right? So that's how I could see. But then let's just say it 10x from 90,000. Then it would be 900,000, right? Let's just say it did that in 1 year. If it did that in 1 year, that might be the same year that the housing market starts to really be a big shakeup because, I mean, once again, if one Bitcoin is worth double the average home, yeah, dude, you're gonna have people panicking to try to get their hands on some Bitcoin. How many years till it hit? I don't know. I mean, it really depends on if Trump comes out and say we're gonna start buying Bitcoin. You know, it really depends on the time frame he gives. Will it be in 2 weeks? Will it be in 6 months? Will it be in 3 months? How many Bitcoin are they gonna buy? You know, and then will other companies start to buy Bitcoin? Will other cities, will other states start to buy Bitcoin? Because if the U.S. government comes out and say they're gonna start buying Bitcoin, and then they also other states want to buy Bitcoin, other companies want to buy Bitcoin, what's it gonna do to the price? It's gonna make that junk go up. I don't know. Maybe maybe before maybe before 2028. Your parents are trying to get their home insured. It's just crazy though. We need to do something to the forests. We need to like start clearing the forests, yo. But California didn't want to clear the forest because they didn't want to. Bitcoin per week. I'm probably gonna stop buying Bitcoin because I've been doing like $100 a day. Yeah, so like I'm kind of tired of buying it now. It's like what, $700 a week. But yeah, I'm just tired. But I also haven't been buying anything else. I haven't been going out to eat. Haven't been drinking. So yeah, it's all been going to Bitcoin. Second best besides BTC, Ripple, XRP. That's another good one. Stocks. I would say SoFi for stocks. Hood. Yeah, SoFi and Hood. Okay, so I'm gonna get off here because I'm gonna go make a quick bite to eat. And I'll see y'all. Ethereum. I need to buy some more Ethereum actually. Because when Bitcoin starts to go, that's gonna take Ethereum up too. Native Americans used to do control burns. Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. California, it's the environmental stuff. They used to, I think California used to do control burns. I don't know if they still do control burns. But anyway, good night. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow. It was fun tonight. Yes, yes, yes. I love all y'all. Y'all have a good night. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. And peace out, yo. Ow.